Good afternoon. I'm here to talk to you about primary sources and secondary sources. The first objective with historical skills that we have to accomplish in the class is to be able to distinguish between primary and secondary sources as the foundation of historical scholarship. Now, that might sound a little strange to you, but it's a fairly common sense or easy distinction to make once you get the hang of it. And I want to talk to you about that in this first video. I'm going to just talk about the brief principles, and in the second video I'm going to have some pictures to help you distinguish so that when there's a quiz on it, then you'll be able to do well. All right. So the first idea here is that a primary source is a source that's from the time period that you're studying. Okay, you can also see this in the introduction to History of 1513 and also um, in the analyzing primary sources in their context handout. But basically, again, primary source is a source from the period that you're studying, from the past, to make it simpler. And we call those primary sources because they are firsthand in a sense. Okay, and those are really important for studying history because you can't really claim to be doing history if you haven't looked at some of the primary sources produced by the people that you're studying. Okay, a secondary source is a source by somebody after the fact studying what's going on, studying some kind of primary source information, and then um, making some kind of interpretation about it. Okay, and this could be a journalist, it could be a, a historian, it could be just a lay person trying to reconstruct the past, trying to say something about the past from this source, from the sources. Okay, and we need both. Okay, we don't have to get into this too much right now, but we need both because you can't really, as again, do history without looking at the primary source record. You got to get some idea of what the people involved said. At the same time, nobody can do all the can read all the primary sources out there, and so we also rely on people's interpretations of it, of the past. Okay, and they're both valuable. Okay, we'll again talk more about that as we go along. First of all, though, I want to just kind of show you our books and talk a little bit about the idea of what's a primary source and what's a secondary source in regard to reading in our class. Okay, so our main textbook for the class, Western Civilization: A Global and Comparative Approach, Volume 1, is mostly it's a secondary source. There are a few primary source excerpts in there in boxes. Okay, the book as a whole is a secondary source with a few excerpts in there of primary sources. Okay, so that's what we're using as our main framework for the class, along with my development sheets, which are also secondary sources. Okay, they're interpretations of the past. This one by Kenneth Campbell, and the development sheets by me, and the things that I've read. Okay, secondary sources. Primary sources that we have are the linked documents and files that are up at the top of the development sheets. Okay, the development sheets have both secondary and primary sources listed, and I will show again you some pictures of those in the next video so you can get a sense of it. Now here's one distinction that can make it a little complicated. I think once you get the hang of it, it won't be too bad, but a lot of primary sources have introductory material. Okay, they have some little thing, little paragraph at the top that kind of tells you the background, who wrote it, why, when, introductory material. That's not part of the primary source. That's something that's there to help you, the student, put together by me or by the author of or the collector of that primary source, to help you get an idea of what it is. Because for students, it's not that easy necessarily to just know immediately, oh, this is the background of the primary source, the background of the author, all that kind of thing. And so it is important to make that distinction. The introduction at the top is not primary source. The actual source written by the author from the past is. And in the next video, I'll show some pictures that help you to make that distinction between them. All right? So that is all for now. I hope this helps, and I will talk with you more about that in future videos.